There you see powerful shots coming out of Dubs and Riverson here. They find one of the few. It's going to be Disrupt. Lyjack's left by himself. I don't see a Mega in this equation right now, so it seems like a fight that was drawn out a bit, and yes, he's been dropped. So one player remaining now on that trio there, which is going to be Lyjack. He's going to actually catch a little bit of vengeance there. And I thought I heard some high fire rate weapons, and I did. It's the combat shotgun in Dub's hands. One that you don't see very often, but at least they do manage to get away safely here.
Yeah, getting a slight buff recently as well. Would be interesting to see it come back in. I was watching a whole bunch of World Cup gameplay the other day, and as fun as it was to use, man, I really don't miss versing it when it was at its peak, but Dub's still showing that it does have its place. It's got that really strong medium range for a shotgun, where if you hit consistent shots with the tight bullet spread, you can get some good damage, and it looks like they scared their team out of lazy. They said, hey, mate, but in an area like that, they have such big sight lines. They have steamy stacks if they can make it to the stacks for a rotate. They have the rifts. There's just so much control they have and so many sight lines. They're not going to get ambushed as solos, so they can split so wide.
100%. As we hop on over to Magnolia, is going to fall now, and Raul needs to answer back to that. And yes, he's going to find Larson, so Larson doesn't get away for free, but he does get the thirst in the process, which he was just a second, like literally a tick too late. And now the shots coming in from the other side here. There's still a duo fight to be had here. Raul and Veta versus the players down below here. What's left of that team as Tabs is falling to Bizzle. That's what we expected. Remember, we talked about this before. Tabs and company weren't falling to them before. But hold up, though. There's still a fight going on here. Someone gets taken right out the vehicle, and then off they go. So this is just all kinds of messy for Raul.
This is all kinds of messy, and this is the kind of stuff that happens in Game 6 of the last day. Everyone's tired. This is where the mental fatigue comes in, and that's where you make decisions like that. Raul doesn't know where the player is, doesn't keep himself covered, leaves himself out in the open. The knocked opponent's there, and I'm wondering why he didn't finish the opponent. There it is. The finish comes out now. He might be able to try to grab some of the loot, but he's only got 12 health. A single one of those pistol shots coming through the wall will be enough, as he has 30 builds left, and he edits out, and ooh, okay, Raul, showing he has the mechanics. A really big, heavy shot after some clean
Oliver.
Oliver OG falls. Okay, Raul, 1v2 situation, 12 HP to his name. Can he get the finish on Oliver OG? Get that little bit of extra health that he needs as he goes up now. He's looking for it, and he's in a 1v1 situation, and damn, I said it there, the Game 6 jitters, but Raul with the mechanics still very much on point.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any other thing to follow up after this pump shot. He's trying to get this thirst here on the body. He doesn't even know where it's at, and there it is. He's going to find him. The thirst comes in, the siphon as well. We asked why Pulsonics was leaving that body up. He was actually trying to bait it, so it doesn't matter how cheeky they were trying to play. I mean, it's not good enough because it looks like Raul might just be looking to clutch this up. One more shot, and yes, he finds it onto Pulsonics. What a clutch. That is the clutch of the day.
Clutch of the day, and it's not over yet, Moss. There's another player coming in. It's only a solo. Maybe Raul, thinking it might be more players, tries to kind of get away, and looks like he's pushing back to get a little bit of an angle, but like you said, it's ammunition right now. He has 0 assault rifle bullets. He has 0 pistol bullets. He only has the shotgun, and it's a gray shotgun. He did all that with such a shambles loadout with just clean, consistent fighting. That was a really, really good clutch.
And honestly, with Elans to back it up as well, you're talking ranging from 3 to 6 eliminations in the final stretch here. So starting off cold, but then turning up now in the back half. That's a great, great way to be on an upwards trajectory here leading into day 2.
And I feel like no team follows kind of a trajectory storyline more than Zayt's team. How many times do we see this monster? Zeke was being broken over it earlier. He was freaking out. It's the game 1 win all 3 weeks, the game 2 win, and then now they just started to drop off a little bit. They're getting contested, but even when they're not contested, they're losing their momentum.
Ooh, here's a fight that we haven't seen. Remember, we knew they came over for the reboot, so Raul's still up. Raul's in a 1v1 down below. Christian's coming in from behind. He's looking to see if he can follow up here. Yeah, this player's down below. Raul doesn't have any shield. That's 61 to the body. A little bit of control is going to slow him down, but it's not looking too good for Raul. Raul's not going to be able to clutch up this time around, although he did get his highlight of the day. Honestly, all hats off to Raul, who pulled off one of the most ridiculous clutches, one of the best saves we've seen today.
And he even went and got the reboots off, so he definitely did something here, because he's not a solo now. His teammates are here somewhere, so he pulled off a big play. He did everything for his team. He did everything he could, and unfortunately, he gets caught. But those points could be the difference when you're talking consistency, or even potentially if they have a good day tomorrow, top 15, it does matter. And, ooh, a little bit of a misplay there. They were going for the max storm surge, but they accidentally finished the opponent with the assault rifle. But 74 alive. It's the last game of the day. This is usually the safest you can be on storm surge, where lobbies are going to start to thin out pretty quickly. People lose their composure. They're just a little bit tired after a long day, and that's where things start to crumble a little bit. But it's your opportunity to have the big game if you need it. If you're one of those teams around top 20 and you need a big performance, Game 6 is where you do it. Focus up and see if you can have that big point jump.
Yeah, definitely, especially considering that a lot of teams do tend to hit up those ambushes around Salty and whatnot. But here, though, Mega getting farmed for a couple tags off in the distance. Stark Industry still looming over the Doom's domain. You have to think about those teams that rotate in late can see everything coming on in. Riverson, just do a little bit of a temperature check here on the loadout, looking pretty decent. Energy rifle in hand. He does have those chug splashes. They're fully capped off, a little bit of mobility as well. That's the recipe right there to be a high ground team, to play a late zone just a little bit, right? Be able to secure that height. So I'm pretty excited for what this endgame is going to be if they can make it through all the way and conserve all this movement.
And we haven't seen how Zayt's team does with a zone that goes towards Doom's domain. Like you said, we haven't really seen this, and I think after all the weeks we've watched Monster, I don't think we've seen it that much at all. So could be interesting to see how this might be the different endgame that, again, teams need to have that recipe for success. And Moose's team's pushing in while splashing. Yeah, this is it. This is a Storm Surge fight. This team needs their tags, and they're going to push in on it. So this is either going to go very well for Dubs, Riverside, and Mega, or really bad. They're either going to get free eliminations and free loot, or they're going to get that team that just psychos on in and does a bunch of damage, and it's not. They get the freebies. That's 3 eliminations on the board. The lobby focus comes out, but Riversan backing up his team, jumping in front with the hard mass, and looks like that only helped them. But scary situation, Monster, when there's a team running at you with Storm Surge on them and they just start throwing crash pads and they're getting in. That's where you see those one pumps that come out that really upset the leaderboard.
Yeah, but lucky for them, it was just a 3v2, so Moose and Soul fall easily there. And honestly, just respect to the subtleness of Riverson to step in front of the incoming fire from Ronaldo and company to go ahead and fend them off. And as soon as he jumped in front of the line of fire there to build, they just immediately stopped firing, giving them all the time in the world now to make their decision to move, as Animal, Dejan, and Agers are doing just that.
Look at this split from Stretch, Saf, and Zayt here. Look how wide they're split. Look how much control they have with these giant kind of like, I don't want to call it a sky base because it's only a few layers off the ground, but they just have it all opened up and they have so many sight lines. It's so incredibly different to how every other team plays. This is what you're used to seeing. People hunkered down in 1x1s, builds on their head, just sitting in boxes. But Saf and that like to see the sunshine. They like to see what's going on around them and get that information because it's crucial for how they play their games. And this is as northwest of a northwest zone as we can get. Monster and Gabe looking to try and make his way in here with the crash pad play, drops the player down, wraps back around, and there it is. It's Lyjax who falls, and this is getting them closer and closer to the 70-point mark. What a good day for them as they push further into top 5.
I just want to say, what an innovative way to play that, actually catching an angle from the side and dropping them down for the piece control for the teammates to catch the players into the trap door there. Although it isn't going to work out the way they wanted, it's a little bit dirty, it's a little messy here, but okay, the siphons come through, gives Gabe just enough time here to stay up, and Tahi as well is going to manage to get his heal offs. But still, all in all, the way they set that battle up, we don't see teams set battles up like that. So very innovative way to take care of that squad right there.
And that's 3 eliminations, and they're looking healthy now. They took a lot of damage. It came right down to Gabe had to get the siphon from the players spraying his builds to give him the health to survive the spray. So it came right down to the wire, but look at them now, Monster. They are healthy, and that's what you need to see from a team that's in top 5, not scared to take those fights coming into the end of the day. They're not trying to just hold on to what they've got. They're trying to push further, and they need to because Bucky, Krieg, and Kanata are right beneath them, not looking too healthy, only 1 place above them in 4th place. Half pulls onto only 1 trio, and I was going to say it's Booger, Chamber, and Avery that are on the edge, and here it is. I said it. You can see the sunshine on their faces. You can see the breeze in their hair. They're up nice and high as Zayt, looking to try and get maybe potentially a snipe onto this opposite height, and this is what we're used to seeing from this team. You've talked about it. Oh, there it is, Slacks. No, you can't be doing that, and that's it. That's going to be the opportunity. Zayt is going to start shockwaving. This is their high ground, but no, they don't jump up on top of their high ground. They get onto another established high ground. If you guys want to know how to play high ground or how to establish it, you have to go back and watch this gameplay. Monster talked about it earlier. They have a very, very set strategy. Can they secure high ground early? Yes, then rotate. If they can't, wait till another team takes it, and that's exactly what Riversun, Dubs, and Mega did. You see them flying out of the sky straight onto their builds. The shockwaves come out, and Saf has to hold it. He gets the heavy shot off. Boxes a player as well. I have to think he maybe concludes this. It's going to go toe-to-toe with the shotguns, and he does. Dubs falls there, and Saf, Zayt, and Stretch hold the high ground, and Riversun and Mega have to realize what's the next step now.
This is the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen Saf step up through thick and thin, and this is why we say that this team, this duo, the chemistry between Zayt and Saf is so good, coupled with Stretch's versatile feel for the team, and I mean, they are just one of the best to watch do it time and time again. It's like riding a bicycle. They just understand. It doesn't matter. They just know how to do it. It doesn't matter if it's solo season, they jump back into team-based game modes, they manage to figure it out. Now Zayt, of course, naturally, jumps all the way to the other side. Now they have this full control once again, splitting up their territory.
And just takes another position, because that's it. He wants to make sure no one can take this position of height uncontested either. And if you ever have the joy of watching Zayt, Saf, and Stretch actually stream their gameplay, they don't do it often. Their comms are unlike any other team. They don't tell each other what to do like other teams do. They just say what they're doing, and they all just seem to know what that means they should do. Oh, Zayt says is spraying second height. I'm going to go and get a side angle, or I'm going to go even higher. It's just incredible how in sync they are, and they're going to need to be to finish off this, and this would be 3 wins on the day. This is how this team plays. They either win and get massive points, or they go down right before all the placement points, because for them, it's height or nothing.
Yeah, they're down to fall with the ship. Like, they will take it to the bottom of the sea for what it's worth there. They'll hold on to the anchors. Here in the low ground is Zum, Skittles, and Ronaldo. Talking about anchors, talking about the bottom layers of the ocean here. That's what they're playing right now, because this elevation is going up and down. They have to figure it out. Bouncers are going to come out. Mid-ground layer is going to be the choice here. Players all around them boxed up now. Enemy walls there, has to be careful. Skittles to back him up. That's a trio.
Ronaldo.
You don't want to make that edit again. Ronaldo's already down. What are you going to do, Skittles? You do have the shockwaves. You have to stay alive. You might just have to play for yourself here.
They need a big game here today as well, because remember, this team is only formed today, so they don't get in off consistency. This weekend, they have to get top 15. And I was going to say, it was in the final game of their round 2 where they really popped off and had their big performance, and I wanted to see that too. They could still do it. Skittles and Zum are still up right now. They've got 2 shockwaves. They have what they need. Skittles has dropped the shockwave to Zum. I hope he realized that. He does. He picks it up. I don't think that's going to be for a hype play. I think that's just to keep themselves having the split loot, where if one of them goes down, the other one can solo clutch up, because they need to today. They need these points. This team is on the bubble, and they need a top 15 finish tomorrow, and today is going to get them set up for that position. Skittles gets sprayed out as Zum goes forward. He's playing aggressively. They're going into the low ground. They're finishing off right now. Jelty goes down as well. That's a point for them, and that's the elimination they need with the match. They're going to keep making their way through. Shockwaves come out, and this is scary. This is where everything goes out the window. This is just pure mechanics. Sabtona goes down. He picks up something in the feed. I don't know how, and he needs to keep pushing forward, Monster.
Yeah, not only that, Jelty in them, that was big competition. Those are players that are literally running on their heels for their placement spots. So taking those kind of frags out, taking those players out mean a lot. Booga still alive in this game. Reverse Miro and Day still alive as well. Remember, they are in the lead right now by 20 points, so it is still anyone's ball game. Yes, Zayt and company have high ground, but no, that doesn't mean they're going to take first, not just yet. Everyone's going to have to fight for it. Skittles is still fighting. Miro and Day go down as I talk about it, so now that's one of the teams in first place. Oh my gosh.
I've been talking about it. Skittles and Zum need to do something for their own game, but they're shaking up the whole story of this leaderboard right now. That is a first place team they've just taken out. Zayt, Saf, and Stretch are still on the high ground, but it's all the eliminations on the mid ground. Day in reverse is still in there, so only Miro is falling. Skittles goes up, and no, he gets just that little bit too close to height. You get that tiny little bit, and they will take you out. And Saf and Stretch and Zayt are now going to start working their way down as Zum goes up as well. They both fall in the same fashion. They go down, but what a big performance from them. They got their eliminations. Booger and Jamba have to do something now. 5 shockwaves in the inventory. Tahi falls, so Gabe or Sprite is still down there, which means Booger does not want to go down onto that bottom layer.
That was a crazy edit right there, and still escape for the opponent. Now back to his teammate though. Look at the reads here, just great way to stay to the hip of Jamper. The follow-up as well, the piece control from Booga, just keeping his teammate nice and safe as they're working their way through. The synergy here is looking so good between Jamper and Booga. It's what we expect of an X duo for sure, and now they have to work their way up. This elevation's already changing. We know who has high ground. It's up to them of whether or not they can continue to make more eliminations than the team on height right now. Can they find this one, Aussie? These are so clutch. They need every single one.
These are the shockwaves right now. Can he get it right now? He's got that legendary pump in hand, but it's going to come down to the burst rifle. He does, gets the elimination, capitalizes. 3 shockwaves. Is it enough? Because this is closing out. And you know Zay, Saf, and Stretch on high ground. There's someone else. Reverse goes down. Booger goes up with the shockwave, but we know there's a trio up there, so he's got to be careful. Can he get what he can? But he shockwaves them out. That could be the difference that upsets this game. Stretch had the ultimate high ground, and luckily he did, because Saf's out of there. Zay's out of there. He's on the low ground. Booger's still down there too. Booger and Zay are going toe-to-toe with clicks. Illest has fallen right now, so you've got 3 of the biggest teams in NA East. You have 3 teams all right up there in the leaderboard, but Stretch has to do something. He jumps down and Zayt gets it. He finishes off Booger, and they finish the day with a win. Oh my gosh.
Same place for the last 6 games, and from there the top 15 trios will move on. Day, Miro, Reverse 2K, the trio. And last week, they set the most eliminations in NA East with 67 eliminations after 2 days. Just today,
Jeez.
they're at 56.
Wow. Kearney, Polarized, DGen, Ages, Animal, all these guys are phenomenal trios who have not had the opportunity